Have you ever opened Instagram or TikTok just for 5 minutes and then realized 45 minutes just disappeared? You didn't plan to scroll that long, but you did. And here's the truth. It's not because you're lazy or undisciplined. It's because you're being chemically manipulated. Every time you check your phone and see a like, a message, or a comment, your brain releases a hit of dopamine, that feel-good chemical that makes you want more. It's the same system that kicks in when you eat sugar, win money, or fall in love. But here's the catch. Dopamine isn't triggered by the reward itself. It is triggered by the anticipation of the reward. That maybe something's there feeling. Maybe someone liked your post. Maybe you went viral. Maybe someone DM'd you. That uncertainty is what creates the addiction. It's called variable reward, and it's the same system slot machines use. Except now the casino is your phone, and every swipe is a pull of the lever. And without realizing it, you've been caught in a loop. Check, scroll, dopamine, repeat. You're not using the app is using you. And just when you think you're in control, there's something even sneakier going on. These apps aren't just addictive by accident. They are intentionally designed to keep you scrolling. Let me break this down. That infinite scroll you're used to, that wasn't always normal. It was built to remove friction, so your brain never hits a natural stopping point. Because if there's no end, there's no reason to stop. Your brain starts chasing the next post, the next laugh, the next hit, and before you know it, you're in deeper than you realize. But it doesn't stop there. There's also FOMO, fear of missing out. You're not just checking for fun. You're checking to make sure you're not left behind, that you're still in the loop. The truth is, this stuff isn't casual anymore. It's become emotional survival. We're not scrolling to relax, we're scrolling to escape. And most of us don't even realize it's happening. Here's where things go from addictive to personal. Because social media isn't just wasting your time anymore. It's quietly reshaping how you see yourself. And I don't mean that in some abstract way, I mean literally. Your self-worth starts getting tied to things like likes, followers, views. It starts small. You post something, you check how it's doing. And if it doesn't get much engagement, you feel off. Not just the post didn't work, but maybe I am not that interesting. Over time, you stop posting for connection and start posting for validation. It's subtle, but your brain starts saying, this version of me gets more likes. This photo got more comments. People liked me more when I shared that part of myself. And slowly, without realizing it, you start curating your identity, not for you, but for them. Every post becomes a performance, and every silence feels like you're disappearing. Even scarier? When you're not posting at all, you feel like you don't even exist. Because if no one's watching, who are you performing for? That's the identity hijack. It's when the real you starts getting buried under the online you. And the scariest part? You probably didn't even notice it happening. We were never meant to compare ourselves to thousands of people a day, to measure our worth through hearts, shares, and comments, to wake up and immediately ask the world, am I good enough today? But that's what social media trains us to do. And for a lot of people, especially younger people growing up in this digital world, this becomes normal. But it's not normal. And it's not healthy. You are more than your feed, more than your follower count, more than what people think of you online. And I promise, the most interesting parts of you aren't even visible on a screen. So what happens if we stay in this loop? Not just for days, but for years. We don't notice it at first, but social media starts to change us, slowly and deeply. Let me walk you through it. First, your attention span gets shredded. Think about it. We're training our brains to live in 10-second clips. Swipe, laugh, swipe, cry, swipe. Forget, there's no depth, no stillness. And so when it's time to do something real, like work, read, reflect, your brain rebels. It's bored, it's anxious, it wants to escape again. You can't focus, not because you're bad at focusing, but because your brain's been rewired to expect constant stimulation. Second, you feel more anxious, even when nothing's wrong. Ever feel that weird pressure in your chest for no reason? Like you're behind, or missing something, but you can't explain what. That's not random. That's your nervous system in fight or flight from the constant noise, notifications, opinions, tragedies, highlights. You wake up and get hit with all of it before you've even had water. And the worst part? We've normalized it. Third, you feel exhausted, even though you did nothing. Have you ever laid in bed after scrolling all night and thought, why do I feel so empty? Why do I feel tired, but also unfulfilled? Because passive consumption drains you in a different way. It looks like rest, but it's not. It's like mental junk food. It fills the space, but it leaves you hollow. And finally, you lose your sense of presence. Your real life starts to feel dull. Hanging out with friends doesn't hit the same. Simple moments don't feel worth it unless you can post them. And that's heartbreaking, because the small moments, the unshared ones, those used to be life. Look, I'm not saying social media is evil, but I am saying it's affecting you more than you think, and probably more than you want to admit. And it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to take that awareness and do something with it. So, what do you do when you finally realize that social media has a grip on you? What do you do when it is not just wasting time, it is messing with your mind? You don't need another productivity hack. You don't need to vanish from the internet and live in the woods. You just need to come back to yourself, piece by piece. And that starts with small, honest shifts. 1. Stop trying to quit all at once. Start noticing instead. The goal isn't to delete everything and hope the cravings go away. The goal is to build awareness. So next time you reach for your phone, just pause for 3 seconds. Literally, 3 seconds. And in that tiny space, ask yourself, why am I opening this? What am I feeling right now? What am I hoping to get from this? That one pause, repeated enough, will start to rewire your mind, because you're no longer operating on impulse, you're choosing. 2. Make your phone less addictive. You don't have to throw it away, just make it boring. Turn your screen grayscale. It removes the bright, triggering colors that feed your dopamine loop. Move social media apps off your home screen. Turn off all notifications except for actual humans. Make the reward harder to access, and it stops being so compulsive. 3. Create 1 hour of digital silence every day. No phone, no screens, no stimulation, just space. It'll feel weird at first, like withdrawal. You'll want to reach for your phone every 5 minutes. That's okay. Let the silence be uncomfortable. Because on the other side of that silence, you'll start to hear something you haven't heard in a while. Your own thoughts. That's where clarity lives. That's where healing starts. 4. Don't just remove the habit. Replace it. Scrolling isn't just a time filler. It's an emotional pacifier. We scroll when we're lonely, stressed, bored, insecure. So if you're going to take something out of your life, you need to put something life-giving back in. Go outside. Call someone. Take a walk with no destination. Journal. Pray. Breathe. Dance. Lift something heavy. You don't need to do it perfectly. You just need to start giving yourself real nourishment again. 5. Audit your feed ruthlessly. The people and content you follow shape how you see the world and how you see yourself. So if someone constantly makes you feel behind, if you always feel less than after watching their life, unfollow, mute, protect your peace. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, and your feed should be a garden, not a war zone. 6. Remember, this is not about quitting. This is about reclaiming. You don't have to hate social media. You just have to stop letting it own you. There's a version of you that exists outside the scroll, one that's calm, clear, fully present. That version of you isn't gone. It's just been quiet for a while, but it's still in there, waiting for you to come home.